Could Philly second baseman Bryson Stott be a prime candidate for a 2025 bounce-back season? Let's talk about it next, right here on the PHLY Phillies podcast. What's going on, everybody? I'm Tyler Zulli, and welcome back into the PHLY Phillies podcast. Bryson Stott told the media at Philly spring training in Clearwater this week that he was dealing with somewhat of a lingering elbow issue that impacted him from June on last year. In fact, he said he was feeling some serious pain in the elbow when he swung, and it dates back to a game in Miami back in May. He said he was dealing with some nerve damage, and in fact, at one point after the awkward swing, his fingers even went numb. Could this have impacted Bryson Stott offensively in 2024 after what we saw in 2023? Without question, I think that played a major role in Stott's offensive regression in year 3. So let's take a look back at some of the numbers in 2023 and compare them to 2024 to see just how that injury could have impacted Bryson Stott's performance. First, let's go back to 2023, what was perceived to be Stott's breakout season. You'll see here 280 slash line, 280, 329, a 419 average. He hit 15 home runs and had 49 extra base hits. But the three things really that stood out to me in 2023 were A, Stott's ability against left-handed pitchers, B, how different his barrel rates and hard hit percentage rates were compared to 2024. And the most important thing to me when it comes to Bryson Stott's success as a hitter all the way back to 2023 was his ability to hit with two strikes. He had 82 two-strike hits in 2023. It was the best in the National League and trailed just Bobby Witt across Major League Baseball. You compare that to 2024, which looked like this. The largest divergence, I think, is threefold. It's those three numbers that you see across the screen. His numbers against lefties dipped by almost 60 points, and the OPS plummeted. The barrel rates and hard hit percentages dropped, and his two-strike success was significantly less. Stott's struggles against left-handed pitching in 2024 is probably the easiest number to look at as to why, A, he struggled as a whole offensively last season, and B, why he got 80 less plate appearances and 70 less at-bats in 2024 than he did in 2023. You see the average dropped nearly 60 points, and his OPS took a nosedive, dropping 135 points from 2023. He had just 4 extra base hits against left-handed pitching in 2024, including just 1 home run. Now, the barrel rate and hard hit percentage might be a little bit of a skewed stat because Stott really isn't typically the type of hitter who has high rates in either stat, even in a good year. Even in 2023, he was only in the 14th percentile of barrel rates and the 19th percentile in hard hit percentages. But it does go to show you that he was squaring up the baseball less in 24 than he did in 2023. But to me, the most stark difference between 2023 and 2024 was what Stott did with two strikes and his drop in two-strike success. Let's go all the way back to 1988 when two-strike hits were being tracked. And Major League Baseball as a whole hit 190 with two strikes since 1988. Stott in 2023 hit 237, picking up 82 hits with two strikes, again, the best in the National League. And while his 56 two-strike hits in 2024, they're still impressive, his average dropped to 195, just above that Major League number. But further than that, I think the elbow injury hampered one thing above all else: Stott's ability to hit the fastball, especially the fastball up in the zone. Let's go back to 2022. Bryson Stott was dreadful against fastballs in 2022. Pitchers knew that they could take Stott up the ladder, and not only would he oblige, but he really had no chance. He had a negative 14 run value on four-seam fastballs in 2022. Then in 2023, there was a little bit of a breakthrough. He was much better against fastballs in 2023. And when I say much better, I mean that he got to about league average in terms of run value, but he also hit 285 and hit the ball hard over 42% of the time against fastballs in 23. Then in 2024, he reverted back to those struggles of 22. Not quite the same, but he posted a negative 9 run value on fastballs, hit just 197, and only produced a hard hit rate of 29.7%. So let's take a look at some of the numbers for Bryson Stott in 2023 against pitches up in the zone, mostly fastballs, but pitches up in the zone as a whole versus 2024. First, we'll take a look at his averages up in the zone. Now, you can discredit, I don't want to say discredit, but you can take out the upper reaches of the zone, talking about above the zone. That's shoulders, that's eye level. No hitter is going to have successful numbers there. I'm talking about the upper third quadrants of the zone itself, within the strike zone. You can see in 2023, He was excellent on pitches up in the zone. Now, again, this is namely fastball or mainly fastball, but it's not entirely fastballs. But you can see up in the zone, Bryson Stott well above 300 in all three quadrants up in the zone. Compare that to 2024, 214, 182, and 267. The average is dipped across the board for Bryson Stott in 2023 compared to 2024. Now, why did that happen exactly? Well, I think due in part because of his bat speed. And I think his elbow was hampering his bat speed even more than it did in 2023 and 2022. Take a look at his pop-up percentages up in the zone. If you go back to pop-up numbers in 2023, he popped up just 6 times in those upper 3 quadrants. If you go to 2024, it goes to 26 times. You'll be able to see late in the season for Bryson Stott, especially in 2024, back elbow drop, back hip disengaged, and I think due in part probably to the injury, but he was popping up more and more, especially up in the zone. But it wasn't just pop-ups up in the zone. It was hard hit rates up in the zone as well. It was strikeout rates up in the zone as well. So let's take a look at the hard hit percentages up in the zone for Bryson Stott in 2023 compared to 2024. You can see it in 2023. Now, his numbers aren't excellent, and that probably plays in part because of the fact that Stott doesn't hit the ball hard on average, but 41 hard hit balls up in the zone in 2023 compared to 25 in 2024. Again, I think a product of the fact that he was getting underneath a lot of balls in 2024 that he was driving in 2023. And the last thing, the K percentages, the K rate across the board in 2024 drops not as dramatically as the other ones, but it raises not as dramatically as the other ones, but especially in the up and away portion of pitches, 40% from 33 in 2024, 12 from 10 in the middle upper quadrant. You can see that he was swinging and missing a little bit more, and that's something that Bryson Stott doesn't typically do. He doesn't whiff a ton, and he doesn't get fooled a ton, but the numbers did elevate over the course of 2024 compared to 2023. Now, Stott has never swung the bat particularly hard. He's averaged just 68 miles per hour bat speed each of the last 2 seasons and has been in the 7th percentile of bat speed each year. Simply put, he just doesn't have the bat speed to catch up to high fastballs and pitches up in the zone. But I do think that a healthy elbow will change the course of his season a little bit more. It should help him become less of an easy target for pitchers with fastballs up in the zone. And I do think the biggest approach difference is going to be with 2 strikes. I think it should revert back to that of 2023, which I think will go a long way for Bryson Stott's overall success at the plate heading into 2025. So with all of this being said, it is a big ask. It's a large swing of the pendulum to go all the way back to 2023. But I do think a healthy Bryson Stott could be a prime candidate for a bounce-back season in 2025.